day to you wherever you're listening to us from, and thanks for staying tuned to your darling station, Sunrise FM 96.1. My name is Precious Chukwekezi, and I'm glad to welcome you to the program. It's Teaching Time, coming to you from your darling station, Sunrise FM 96.1. Today on A Stitching Time, we will pay attention to hepatitis and its impact on our health. Even as we celebrated World Hepatitis Day yesterday, being July 28th. So today we are focusing on the impact of hepatitis on our health, on our overall health. And before we delve into the matter of the day, we should know that there is need for us to pay great attention to our health, because it can help to contribute to our overall well-being and higher quality of life. It can also help in managing stress and improve mood and enhance our cognitive function. It can give us a sense of control over our well-being. It allows us to make informed choices and actively participate in our health care. And paying attention can also help us in the early detection of diseases, including conditions like hepatitis, even as we're going to focus on it today. And then it empowers us to lead healthier and happier lives and contribute to a more vibrant society. So you see that with this and so many more, there is 1,001 reasons why we should pay great attention to our overall health. And coming back to the matter of the day, that is hepatitis and its impact on our health, we have with us two gentlemen, pharmacist Nonso Maduka. He is the executive director, Ben Star Development Foundation. We're glad to have you today on the program, sir.
Thank you, Precious, for having me.
Okay, we also have with us Dr. Ekene Gideon Anibo. Dr. Anibo is a consultant gastroenterologist and hepatologist, Department of Internal Medicine, Enugu State University Teaching Hospital, Park Lane, Enugu. We're glad to have you, Dr. Anibo.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the theme of this year's World Hepatitis Day is it's time for action. So,
Yes.
what does it mean when they say it's time for action as it concerns hepatitis?
It's time for action. That's the theme, but it's also your program. The name of your program is Teaching Time.
Yes,
also matches.
it's
time for action.
Yeah.
Because if you consider that you have an infection that's globally about 304 million people who have hepatitis B and C, and then it kills about 3,500 people daily. That's one death every 30 seconds.
That's it.
Then when we say it's time for action, truly we mean it's time for action. There's this goal to eliminate it by 2030 as a public health threat, but the trends are not showing like we're going to do that, especially in the African region, Nigeria being a center of concern for us.
Okay, that's right. Thank you very much. Dr. Anibo, can you explain to us the different types? Because we understand that we have hepatitis A to E.
Exactly.
Yeah, so can you explain to us these different types of hepatitis viruses and how they affect, especially the liver?
Very good. Thank you very much once more. All right, so hepatitis have 5 clear distinct types: hepatitis A, hepatitis B, C, D, and E. Each of these viruses infects the liver and damages the liver in one way or the other. Their symptoms are similar. However, their mode of presentation could be different. For hepatitis A and E, they often present as acute hepatitis. That is, that the virus infects the liver and oftentimes will not last beyond 6 months. When it goes beyond 6 months, it is called chronic hepatitis, and that is where hepatitis B and C comes in. Because of that, hepatitis B and C contributes the most burden for hepatitis infection, because when they infect people, they could last for a lifetime, or the person could infect others within that lifetime, and they may remain undiagnosed also for a very long time. Thank you.
Oh wow, thank you. Before I leave you, can you let us into the causes and the predisposing factors of hepatitis?
Very good. Okay, hepatitis, the risk factors hepatitis, it is a virus, it is transmissible virus, so it is transmitted from one person to another. People who are at risk of infection are people who are exposed more than others. For example, people who are engaged in unprotected sexual intercourse, people who are exposed to blood and blood products, people who get exposed to blood, like when someone gets blood transfusion, the person is at risk. Patients who are on dialysis are also at increased risk. Beyond that and apart from that, in the normal and general population, people who go to barber and they use instruments that have been used on another person and it is not well sterilized. When people get injection and those injection needle are reused, when people go for local practitioners for piercing, either ear piercing, nose piercing, or local tonsillectomy, where people get some surgical procedures in the communities, they are at risk because those instruments that are used may not be properly sterilized, and many more people could be at risk of infection. So by and large, it is transmitted through exposure to body fluid, especially blood, and then it is transmitted again, beside the body fluid, could be transmitted from mother to child. So women
Through breastfeeding.
Yes, through
Okay.
breastfeeding, and then it could be transmitted within the uterus while the baby is
Oh, I
in the
see.
uterus. It could be transmitted during birth. It could be transmitted just after birth. Then it could be transmitted during breastfeeding.
Oh, I see. Wow. It's really a big issue. So there is really need for us to take great care. Indeed.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry, but I believe what Dr. was trying to say, yes, it's transmitted through breastfeeding, especially where the nipples have cracks.
Oh, okay.
Yes, very
Yeah,
good, very
yeah.
very important.
Where the nipples
Yeah.
have cracks so that the blood comes out.
Okay, I see.
In fact, it's important to state that yes, it's transmitted through all these methods I've talked about, but it's not transmitted in the normal course of living. It's not
Okay.
transmitted by hugging. It's
I
not
see.
transmitted by kissing. It is not transmitted through saliva. Ordinarily, it is not transmitted by using the same cup with others. It's not transmitted when you live with people and in the normal course of events. So it's
It
important
is
to
really
state
good
that.
you stated this because so that people don't discriminate against hepatitis patients. Yeah. Okay, so Sister Madika, let's talk about the prevalence of hepatitis and the mortality rate, especially here in Nigeria.
Well, even though that we started with it, we Nigerians at the last national survey, we had 8.1 prevalence for hepatitis B. That should be going by what is almost 80 million people. Now, it's because they're a very major source of concern for us as Nigerians, because Africa alone has about 65 million people who are living with hepatitis B. Now, out of that 65 million people, your own country, our country alone, is host to 80 million people. So that's an issue.
That's a big one.
A very, very big issue. That's a very, very big issue, and we're calling on government to look into this. Now, for viral hepatitis C, generally Africa is about 8 million. Our country represents 2.2 million of chronic cases. So it becomes a source of concern, major concern. I just told you that globally, every 30 seconds, one person dies, either due to a liver-related death, either primary liver cancer or cirrhosis, which is caused by viral hepatitis. And so it's a source of major concern, and that our government will need to look into it. We really need to look into it.
So that's to say in Nigeria alone, we've lost a whole lot of persons to hepatitis.
Yes, I believe so, most especially when you know that some of the symptoms that come when your liver is actually at the end stage disease, things like ascites, they blow your stomach, people tend to think it's witchcraft. So instead of coming to the specialist here, they will be going from one herbalist to other, thinking is a traditional issue. So we don't really have the data of the number of people we've lost, but whether we have lost we have lost so many.
Oh.
And even while they died, the people still don't know what killed them, because they still are being accused as is either poison, but many of those cases is people that have been living with viral hepatitis for a very long time.
Dr. Anibo, talking about the symptoms, can you tell us the most common symptoms and signs of this hepatitis that people are really not aware of, that they should look out for?
Thank you very much. Very important question. But before I go into that, let me also reiterate what my colleague, pharmacist, talked about here. Death from hepatitis B and C is very common. In my standing here now, I have a lot of patients in my mind that have died from hepatitis B and C. Let me make it clear. Of all the patients that have been diagnosed of liver cancer, I don't know of any that's alive within the last 6 months. For everyone, now hepatitis B and C, their progression is usually from asymptomatic infection to chronic hepatitis to cirrhosis with or without hepatocellular carcinoma. And for B, it is very common to have hepatocellular carcinoma without even cirrhosis. And a lot of people who have hepatitis B related cancer are dead within 6 months. Now, talking about presentation, most presentation is actually asymptomatic. Asymptomatic means that the person does not have symptom, and that is where testing comes in. If you're looking out for symptom, you may never have it. At the time you're having symptom, you may be having complication, and those complications are just close to death. So the common symptom is no symptom. We have to say that. Let me repeat that. The commonest symptom for hepatitis B infection or C infection is no symptom. When they become symptomatic, the disease is advanced. When they become asymptomatic, and if you're waiting to have yellowness of the eyes, which is what our people call ebochanaya, it may be late. If you're waiting to have abdominal swelling, which is as a result of accumulation of fluid in your abdomen, it may be late. So those are the other symptoms. Therefore, other symptoms include abdominal swelling, yellowness of the eyes, body swelling, weight loss, but all these are evidence of advanced disease. And when we talk about advanced disease, we are talking about imminent death.
This is scary, though. It's really scary.
No, it's good that you even having this program to let the people know, because they, like doctor said, the issue is the thing doesn't have symptoms at that early stage.
So what should we do? How do we go about it?
Wonderful. And I've been advocating this as an advocate, and thank God that we have him here. So my question is, I know I think during the last administration, I think I brought this up with the commissioner. What stops the normal health protocol? That when people come, you ask them for their BP, you take their temperature. What does it take to just screen for hepatitis B antibody, hepatitis C antibody? Let if we even get to know, have you actually been exposed at all? Or, okay, you've been exposed, you cleared. Let the people be screened as a normal procedure in the hospitals. Let it be part of the normal protocol of attending to every patient that comes into the hospital.
I see.
Because that's the major thing. You need to know your status first.
Of course.
Because like he said, if you are waiting for symptoms, most people will never receive a symptom. I have a very terrible case. A lady who had breast cancer was being managed for breast cancer. They succeeded in having the cancer going to remission, and then she was discharged. 3 weeks after that, she entered coma. They rushed her to hospital. Before they could say Jack, the lady was dead. So the family were like, doctor, you said no. The doctor was saying, I know what I did. So they ordered for autopsy. It was in the course of the autopsy they found out that the liver was packed up. She has been living with viral hepatitis B.
Oh,
No
goodness.
sign, no symptom.
What you just described as a common finding is something I have. It has also come very close to me. I lost a cousin who, after ordinary heniography, developed hepatic encephalopathy, which is a complication of liver cirrhosis when it is not diagnosed early. So it was the patient, the young man had abdominal swelling, was diagnosed as hernia. He had also a hernia. It was repaired, but because the liver has packed up, he developed complication and died from it. It's I just mentioned the one that is close to me based on blood, but I have there are many of such cases where people are diagnosed late, or it is or they are other diseases are diagnosed while the person actually has hepatitis B, killing the person slowly, and so it's something very serious.
If you just joined us, okay, you must.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask Doc,
Okay.
because this is something that we can work on. At least we can start it in Enugu State. Again,
Yes.
the practice of treat, that screen.
Very good.
It's something that we can work on. It's something we can work on. Let it be. If anybody is entering Park Lane, that if I ask you to, they not to take your BP again, they will do the antibody test.
Okay, let me just say, in my practice, I screen, I would say almost everyone that comes to me. I take it the same way patients, their blood pressure is measured, but how many patients come to me? That's the question.
The thing is that you are a consultant.
And
by the time people are coming to you, they are nearing to death.
That's the point.
So what I'm saying is
I understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is this. Within the normal protocol,
That's exactly what I'm doing.
again, you just come into the hospital for the first time. You don't necessarily have to have a liver problem.
Exactly.
Again, and they need to take your vitals to open a card for you. Is there no way we can start working within the hospitals? At that moment you are taking your card for the first time, you will have the antibody screening.
Okay, so that's where I'm going. So
Okay. This is getting more interesting.
No, but we have to,
Of
and I'm
course.
glad that he's here.
It is getting more interesting, and because of the severity of this particular issue, that's hepatitis, we need to really create awareness. People really need to know about this so that we will not lose more people. We have lost enough, and we say enough is enough. And if we start taking action today, at least it will go a long way, because they say stitching time saves 9. And because of how interesting this issue is getting, we are also joined by Dr. Promise Udoka Asogwa. He's also a consultant, gastroenterologist, and hepatologist, Department of Internal Medicine, Enugu State University Teaching Hospital, Park Lane, Enugu. Dr. Asogwa, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, straight away, we've been talking about the fact that hepatitis don't come with symptoms. That before you see any symptom, it means that the person is at least about to die. So it's been suggested that there is need, when a person comes to the hospital for any kind of test, that there is need for the person to be tested for hepatitis. So when a person has been diagnosed and is positive that the person the person has been diagnosed with hepatitis, right? No matter the type,
Yes.
especially A and E,
Especially B.
especially B and C.
B and C.
Okay, so I want to know, just for us to save lives, we've lost, from what has been said already on this program, we've lost a whole lot of persons to this hepatitis. To save life, to prevent this from happening continuously, what are the treatment options available? Because from what Dr. Anibo said earlier, that he has lost a whole lot of patients because they come to him very late. At the time they were almost dying, and at that point there was nothing he could do. So is there something that can be done? Is there any good treatment available to save lives for hepatitis, no matter the type?
Okay, thank you everyone. Just as had been discussed, viral hepatitis is a very serious health issue in our community,
Okay.
especially in sub-Saharan Africa. And just like I've already discussed, it's quite, for the prevalence rate now is initially 9.5%, later 13.1%. Although recently it's trying to come down around 8.8%. So when someone comes and is screened and found to be seropositive to either hepatitis B, subsequent, the anti-hepatitis C virus, normally before treatment is commenced, we need to do some other investigations. We have to check the panel test and then to check for the viral load. Hepatitis B is a DNA virus, and hepatitis C is an RNA virus. So once we check the viral load, and it's significant enough, by the way, there's a way we measure it and check it, then we know whether the patient will be able to, be prescribed those medications we use, or if it's not up to that particular level, the patient cannot be monitored over a period. Then if a patient is screened positive to either hepatitis B or C and the viral load is done, and other investigations are done, and we deem it necessary that the patient has to be commenced on treatment. There are treatment options, just like you said. In 2015, some antivirals were discovered for hepatitis C. We call it direct-acting antivirals, and they are curable for hepatitis C since 2015. But for hepatitis B, being a DNA virus, we say it could be treatable, but it's not really curable, understand, to some extent. So also have directly acting antivirals that can be used for hepatitis B. Also for hepatitis B, some other injectables can be used. Initially it was interferon, but now it's been modified. Pegylated interferon can be used actually. So these are some of the treatment options that we have. Then the other ones are treatment for the complications, because just like my chief said, most of them come when they have already developed complications.
Oh,
So
that's terrible.
it's very, very worrisome.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so before I let you go, what are the major challenges in managing chronic hepatitis cases and preventing complications like the cirrhosis that you talked about, or liver cancer?
Okay, that's good. The many challenges we have, number one is limited awareness.
Okay.
You understand? They have not got much, will I say, awareness, advocacies and all that for viral hepatitis in the society. The time of Ebola and all that, everybody was so scared. But some of us in gastroenterology, we know that this one is, people die almost every day. I can tell you that there is no week in Institution Hospital we don't get so much cases on a weekly basis. We get up to 5 to 8 new cases of viral hepatitis. In fact, even today they called us another one. Yesterday the same thing. And there is no week we don't get at least 2 to 3 cases of hepatocellular carcinoma, that's liver cancer, from viral hepatitis. So it's very, very worrisome. So number one is the awareness is still not optimal. Then secondly is the costs. Like as we talked about, before somebody is commenced on the medications or treatments, there are some other investigations that should be done. The panel tests to check the different modalities and all that, and also the viral load tests is between 30 to 50,000 now. And looking at what is going on in the country now, how many people can afford that? So most times.
And that could even be one of the reasons why we lost a lot of persons, because before they could go through those processes, they would have given up.
Another thing is, even when the treatment is commenced for hepatitis C, which is curable, it will cost almost between 400 to 500 to 700,000 to treat a patient for a period of 3 months, 12 weeks for hepatitis C.
Oh.
Yes. Then for B, well, the directly acting antiviral medications, they're not as costly as that of C, but the one that is actually very, very costly is the pegylated interferon, which actually for some time now is not all that been projected somehow.
So I really appreciate my guests today. They've been wonderful today. I have pharmacist Nonso Maduka. He is the executive director, Benstar Development Foundation. I also have Dr. Ekene Gideon. Okay, thank you, pharmacist Nonso Maduka, for being here. I really appreciate you. Next time, soon enough, we'll also gather you guys here. We'll talk about this. We'll nail it. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Thank you.
And also Dr. Ekene Gideon Anibo. He is a consultant gastroenterologist and hepatologist, Department of Internal Medicine, Enugu State University Teaching Hospital, Parkland. Thank you, Dr. Anibo.
Thank you very much. Thank
And
you,
also
listeners.
Dr. Promise Udoka Asogwa, gastroenterologist and hepatologist, Department of Internal Medicine, Enugu State University Teaching Hospital, Parkland again, Enugu. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And you've heard it from the gentleman today. So there is need for us to take action, just like the theme of this year's World Hepatitis Day says. It is time to take action. So take action today and let's end hepatitis. On this note, we'll call it a day of today's edition of the program, coming to you from Sunrise FM 96.1. And there is need for you to take action today because a stitch in time saves 9. My name is Precious Chukwekezi. Don't forget that your life is precious, so protect it.